been a great week for these two teams in terms of the weather, but comfortable tonight. 70 degrees at kickoff. As Ed Cunningham mentioned, the wind could be a factor, particularly for the Tennessee passing attack, and they'll be going directly into that 14-mile-per-hour breeze to start the game. As Tom Osborne's Huskers will kick off. Tennessee won the toss, and Philip Fulmer elected to receive. Cedric Wilson is back deep for the opening kick. He's a true freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. Ordinarily, they have Dwayne Goodrich back returning kickoffs. But as it was mentioned before the game from Ed Cunningham, he has an injury. A quad muscle pull. Chris Brown kicks off. The junior from Southlake, Texas, puts his foot to the ball, and the final game of this college football season is underway with a touchback. And Manning checking on the first play from scrimmage. He throws on target, close to a first down. Marcus Nash. There is a flag on the play from the offensive backfield.
Sean, I think we're going to have a holding penalty to start the game with.
Instead of a gain of 8, the ball back on the 8-yard line. First and 22. The quick hitter caught for a short gain. Out across the 12 goes Fearless Price, tackled by Erwin Sweeney. Jamal Lewis out to the 14-yard line. Third down and 16. Shovel pass. Sean Bryson to the 20 and tackled by Jay Foreman. 10 yards short of the first down, but the excellent field position for Nebraska on its first possession. Oh, what a kick into the breeze. A boomer sends Bobby Newcomb back to the 20. That rolls inside the 5, and it looks like it will stop near the 2. What a kick by Hogue! He wasn't even the starting punter at the beginning of the year. He was the backup, but the freshman David Leverton had trouble. Scott Frost, hands off. Joel Makovica stopped with very little, perhaps a half. Frost keeps on the option. Out across the 3, and that's all. Torrey Noel, the strong safety. On 3rd and 9, Frost has a man open. It's too high. He was looking for the tight end, Sheldon Jackson. Back to receive the punt from Jesse Cush. And his first punt is a beauty, but he had the aid of the breeze. Fair bobbled it. Retreated all the way back to the 33. And he is stopped at the 37-yard. Head coach. Tennessee on offense for the second time. Whistle stopped the play.
Ball start on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
More than 11,000 yards passing in Manning's career. Only Todd Santos and Ty Detmer have thrown for more in college football. Bryson, as we mentioned, the fullback, is an excellent receiver. The one weakness of the Nebraska team is the secondary.
But you know, they're young. It's not that they're not talented. They're very talented, but they're inexperienced. Freshman, sophomore. They had some younger type players in that secondary.
2 sophomores and a true freshman, the starters. Quick pass, and it didn't go anywhere. Fearless Price.
Watch the closing speed of the red shirts. That is why Nebraska is one of the better defenses in the country. They can run to the football.
3rd down and 12. Manning's 4 for 4, but for only 13 yards. He's under pressure. Short pass. And Derek Edmonds, the reserve fullback, is thrown down immediately. Again, Erwin Sweeney in on the stop for Nebraska. Well, what can Chris Hogue do again? He can boom another one. High punt. Taken by Bobby Newcomb, the true freshman. He started at the 12. He's driven back at the 22. Yet fullback, number 40. He's blocking for Amon Green. Raynoch Thompson made the tackle for Tennessee. 2nd and 9. Frost shot down behind the line of scrimmage by Raynoch Thompson. Leonard Little, one of the best defensive players in the nation. First team All-SEC. Thompson and Wilson surround him. In the secondary, Griffin, Noel, Gaines, and Fair. Frost on 3rd down. Hit as he threw. Open the tight end, Sheldon Jackson. He's short of a first down out of the 29. Corey Gaines made the tackle. And it will be another punt.
Sean, right now, the speed, mobility, and quickness of the Tennessee defense is affecting the Nebraska offense. There's no question about it. They are matching up very well early in the game, and the more they can put pressure on Scott Frost right there, that's going to help him as the game goes along. Get Scott behind the down and distance, make him a throwing quarterback, take him out of what he does the best, and that's running.
They're waiting for the punt from Cush. Cush came to Nebraska as a walk-on, and that was not a very good punt. I believe the reason there's such a big underdog in this game is that people are thinking about that SEC team, Florida, getting hammered 2 years ago by Nebraska. Another flag down. Manning trying to stretch the defense, throws incomplete, looking for Marcus Nash.
On the defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5 yards, still first down.
And the Tennessee offense improved dramatically this season once they did establish the ground game with the emergence of Lewis. Here is Lewis fighting for a couple out to the 43, tackled there by Jason Peter.
In this offense, you have to protect Peyton Manning when you're a running back.
Second down, Lewis trying to get outside. He has a great combination of power and speed, and he's across midfield. Mike Rucker made the tackle.
If they become two-dimensional, if they can run and throw the ball, they can attack the Nebraska defensive team effectively. If they are one-dimensional, they're playing into the hands of what Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator of Nebraska, wants them to do.
Lewis provided the first down of this game for either team. Ball at the 49 of Nebraska. Manning with time as a receiver. First down at the 31-yard line. Andy McCullough tackled by Ralph Brown, the senior from Dayton. Derek Edmonds now in at fullback, leading the way for Lewis. Good cut back to the inside, and Jason Peter helped drive him back. Jason Wiltz, the other defensive tackle, also at the bottom of the pile. We chatted with David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator. 5:20 remaining in the first quarter. No score. The fade incomplete. He was looking for David Martin, a true freshman. Now third down and 7. Neither team has converted on third down tonight. Manning again with plenty of time, and that's caught for a first down. Sean Bryson. The pitch to Lewis. Bryson leading the way. Lewis hit hard and fumbled. And Nebraska has recovered. Ralph Brown knocked it out, and Mike Rucker recovered the fumble at the 21-yard. Tennessee showing blitz. They're up near the line. Amon Green out across the 25 to the 26. Second and 6. No score. 4:10 remaining in the first quarter. Now one back look from Nebraska. And Green was hit immediately from behind. Excellent penetration by the Volunteers.
Whenever you penetrate against an option team or a counter team, which Nebraska runs a lot of counter plays, it's disruptive to the offense. That is what they're doing effectively.
Play action fake to Green. Frost throws. Man open. Caught. First down, Nebraska. Sheldon Jackson across midfield with the first down of the night for the Huskers.
Sheldon Jackson, great hand placement and concentration by the big tight end.
Joel Makovica back on the field for Nebraska. He got the carry and got 2 to the 46 of Tennessee, where he ran into Raynoch Thompson.
It's going to be critical to see if Makovica can stay in this game. He's such a wonderful blocker as well as an outstanding runner. Your fullback's got to lead that tailback all night long. And boy, when you lose a guy like that out of your lineup, it affects your running game.
Lately, teams have been keying on him, taking away those inside runs. As a result, his stats haven't been as impressive lately. Whistles before the play. No play.
Boy, and Tennessee is lucky there were whistles. Nebraska came in an unbalanced line and ran an option to the short side of the field.
Ball start on the offense. 5 yards. Complete second down.
That play very well might have gone for a Nebraska touchdown. There's only 2 men over here on this side. Everybody else is over here. Tennessee had to adjust, didn't get quite lined up, and the pitch is wide open with a lead blocker. No one else in the defense out here for Tennessee.
Here's Frost throwing on target again. Matt Davison, the true freshman from Tecumseh, Nebraska. Nebraska starting to get in rhythm after the fumble by Lewis. Frost throws, looking deep. It is caught by Newcomb, and Bobby's out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Tackled by Torrey Noel.
Catches it or no one catches it.
The option, he had to pitch it. It's Shevin Wiggins inside the 5 and down near the goal line.
He doesn't even look where he's pitching the ball. He just flicks it out there, knows his wingman is with him.
Amon Green, short of the goal line. He was stopped by Leonard Little. It will be second and goal with a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter. And there was a flag on the play. Many of the coaches who talked about Tom Osborne since he announced his retirement talk about his great skill as a game coach. There's many adjustments. Up and over and in for a touchdown. Amon Green makes it 6-0 Nebraska. Chris Brown out of the hole. Brown bounces it down the field. Nice hop for Cedric Wilson, the true freshman. He's in trouble and stopped short of the 20-yard line. Clock at 3. Mark Levine now the tailback. He's out to the 21. Tackled by Tony Ortiz. Levine was the starting tailback at the beginning of the year before Lewis won the job. Levine again. Big hole. Mark Levine breaks free. Good move on Warfield, and he's tackled out at the 48-yard line. Play action fake. A good one by Manning. He throws into coverage, and it's almost intercepted by Mike Brown. Brown was an outstanding two-way player in high school in Arizona. The Arizona High School Player of the Year as a senior. He won the award as the best running back in the state and also the best defensive back. Manning. That pass deflected and intercepted by Eric Warfield. Warfield at the 30 and tackled from behind at the 25-yard line by Sean Bryson. Carlos Polk, who was injured a couple of plays ago, has his shoulder pads off and is heading to the locker room for Nebraska. He's a backup linebacker. Frost on first down. Keeps and gets drilled right in the line of scrimmage. What a first half Raynoch Thompson is having. Now at the interception, they're the 26. Newcomb in trouble behind the line and thrown for a loss by Jonathan Brown.
Did exactly what his coaches told him to do. Play the reverse.
Quarterback draw. Frost trying to get outside. 2 flags thrown at the feet of offensive linemen.
On the offense. 10 yards, spot of the foul. Repeat third down.
Nebraska back at the 39-yard line. Frost setting up a screen to Green. Leonard Little pulls him down from behind. Jesse Cush, son of a former Husker. His father Bill was a defensive back on their 70 and 71 national championship teams. Jesse hangs it up high. Oh, another fumble! And a touchdown for Nebraska. Lance Brown ran it in, but it was a muff punt, so the ball will come back to the 15-yard line. But it's another key mistake by Tennessee. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. I wonder if Fulmer will continue at fair as the punt returner. He's had a tough time hanging on lately. Makovica breaks tackles. He's inside the 10. Makovica still out of the game. The fullback is Billy Legate. Frost pitches to Green. Green dragged down at the 10-yard line by Torrey Noel. Second in the nation in rushing this year behind Ricky Williams. Frost pitches. Here's Shevin Wiggins again inside the 10. Touchdown! Chris Brown still perfect this kickoff again. He bounces it. The short kick taken by Brian Darden, the backup running back. And quality field position for the Volunteers as Darden brought it out to the 38-yard line. Cornhuskers hoping for a sway voters. Perhaps earn at least a share of the national championship. Voters have been flip-flopping all year. Jamal Lewis back in the game. 2 hands around the ball as he dove. On 2nd and 5, Manning. Flag thrown.
Penalties decline. First down.
Manning takes the draw, throws. Nice catch. Marcus Nash, the motion man. Lobbed out to Lewis. And he's bounced out of bounds after a short gain.
Nebraska has a lot of former track athletes on this team. In the early 1990s, Tom Osborne changed his philosophy and went to recruiting more speed, and they have plenty of speed on this squad.
Lewis down to the 30-yard line. Big third down. 6 yards to go for a Volunteer first down. Tennessee trails 14-0. Manning throws short of a first down. We'll try a 44-yard field goal. Benson Scott is the holder. That is right down the middle, and Tennessee is on the board. Well, Griffin had to hold the ball. Shevin Wiggins has a seam, spins out across the 30 and goes down at the 34-yard line. From the 34, Frost hands it off. Green tackled by Raynoch Thompson.
When he's in the game, Nebraska's a different offensive team than when he's on the sideline.
He's in the game now, blocking for Green, who squirts across the 45 with a first down for the Cornhuskers. The option, Frost keeps. Gain of 3 to the 49. Darwin Walker at the bottom of the pile for Tennessee. Frost has 2 wide receivers to the right. He keeps and gets across midfield. Run down again by Darwin Walker, backup tackle. Corey Gaines also in on the play. Big third down and 5. Frost went spinning into difficulty and then escaped. Now he throws for a first down. Sheldon Jackson down to the 34-yard line. Just inside the 35. Frost down the middle. Newcomb dropped the ball. Had he caught it, in all likelihood would have been 6 points. He was behind Torrey Noel, and the pass hit him in stride. But Newcomb could not squeeze it. 2nd and 10. Frost keeps. And he's run down from behind. Jared Hayden, the backup linebacker, showing his speed. Frost can run. And Hayden gained ground coming from behind.
Well, the Tennessee defense, all 11 players on the field can run. Hayden is the right side linebacker. He comes underneath the block, number 48, and then races, lays it out to get the speed defensively to counter this offense.
Frost throwing on the run, and it is incomplete. It's short hopped Kenny Cheatham, and it is Terry Fair back deep for Philip Pullman. But despite his problems catching punts tonight and in the SEC championship game, he's back there. Might not have to worry about that one. It's a little long. Landed in the middle of the end zone, a touchback. Manning as quarterback at the University of Tennessee. Lewis up the middle. That's 5. We're moving against the 5th best defense in the nation in total defense. Manning in the flat, and it's incomplete. Low ball, looking for Andy McCullough. Manning under pressure, has a man in the flat, and went through the hands of Lewis. Chris Hogue having a career night. Running with the wind this time. He kicked 2 beauties against the wind, and here's another cannon shot. Newcomb back to the 20. And he stopped at the 31-yard line. A 55-yard punt by Hogue. Florida in the Fiesta Bowl received 40% of the votes among 16 choices. Amon Green slipped down as he tried to cut upfield. Al Wilson was coming quickly for Tennessee. Remember what we told you about Nebraska. Not only leading the nation in rushing this season, but they average 60 yards per game more than any other team in the nation in rushing. Having a tough time tonight against this very quick Tennessee defense. Frost on the run. The receiver upended. Newcomb draws the flag. 5-yard penalty instead of the walk-off out to the spot of the 44. Green up the middle. Now a flag thrown where you would expect offensive holding.
Guarantee this is going back another 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Holding is the call.
Clearly made that distinction in the conversation with him, and you do as a coach. It affects you.
Shovel pass to Green. Green trying to turn the corner. He does. Amon Green back into Tennessee territory. First down and much more. All the way to the 36 of the Vols. 1st and 10. Nebraska at the Tennessee 36. Green cut back. Green delivering a ball, and he got knocked down by Leonard Little. Terry Fair had the first hit low. Second and short. 2 yards to go for Nebraska first down. Green to the 26. It will be close. Bill Duff and Anthony Hampton combining on the stop. Hampton wears number 85. He came in to replace Sims, now in as the I-back for the Huskers. Frost pitches to Sims, and he's out of bounds. Perhaps a gain of 1.
The Nebraska offensive line is beginning to assert itself. It's starting to come off the ball better than they did earlier in the game. They have better field position, playing with more confidence.
Sims still the I-back. The give to Makovica. Short gain. Al Wilson wrapped him up. Makovica, Green, and Frost to start. And it's still Sims, the I-back. They hand it off to Wiggins, and he is close to a first down. Shevin Wiggins had just 1 rush all season prior to tonight. Almost a guaranteed field goal for Brown, has made 16 in a row, but the first down is almost an automatic, as Terry suggests. Given the prowess on the ground by Nebraska. Now this formation, all the backs lined up in the I.
This is a stack I.
And it's Frost. He ran into trouble and put it on the ground. And it is still free. And Tennessee has recovered. Annually the best halftime show, all the bowl games. Lewis up through a big hole. Look at him power his way across the 40.
I think Tennessee may take a shot down the field with 26 seconds left in the half here.
Why not? Now that they're at the 42. Manning hit as he throws. That might be a compelling argument. Why not? Manning. Second and 10. Peter got through, but the pass is caught by Marcus Nash. Nash hit hard, but he held on at the 40. Scott
Tennessee with Peyton Manning, not without him.
15 seconds left and no timeouts. When they go over the middle, they'd have to get up very quickly to spike.
Get out of bounds.
Oh, he stayed in bounds and lunges for a first down. The one break for Tennessee could be that it's close to a first down. They should at least stop the clock for a measurement here. The officials conferring and the half ends. Standing alongside, here's Jeff Hall with the kickoff. And a good boot with the wind. And it'll be down to the back of the end zone.
Tennessee has rushed for as many yards, more yards. They've rushed for 80. Nebraska only 69. They're the #1 rushing team in America.
Nebraska on the ground on the first play of the second half, and Amon Green went out across the 25. 3:35. It was Texas A&M that held them, quote unquote, to 3:35 in the Big 12 championship. Frost a late pitch, but right on target. And Amon Green is out of bounds with a first down.
Just a tremendous job by that defense.
On 1st and 10, Green cuts back and lunges forward off the hit of Corey Gaines. 5 or 6 hours a day in the training room for Peyton Manning have certainly paid off. His knee is held up well. Makovica rumbling into the secondary. Terry Fair trying to collar him, and finally he did at the 41-yard line of Tennessee. Football family, his brother Jeff was Nebraska's starting fullback in 1995. Frost keeps. Raynoch Thompson, who's been in and out of the game with a sprained ankle, wrapped up Frost. Scott advanced the ball to the 37-yard line.
Boy, and certainly Nebraska's best blocking fullback. He does so many things for Nebraska.
Nice block by Billy Legate, who took over from Makovica at fullback. He cleared a path for Amon Green. And one long drive in the first half, a 78-yard touchdown drive. They're marching here. That play goes to the 20 for Amon Green. Second down and 7. Out of the shotgun. They love quarterback draw out of the shotgun. And Frost is very close to a first down. From the 13, 1st and 10. Newcomb. Bobby's down at the 5. He lunged ahead to move the ball toward the 4.
Advantage of the fast flow of Tennessee's defense.
Green following Joel Makovica's block. Green has the first down. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Huskers at the 2. 11th play of the drive. And it is stopped at the goal line. Leonard Little put the pop on Amon Green. Frost up and over and in for a touchdown. Chris Brown on for the extra point. Tennessee about to get the ball for the first time in the second half. Cedric Wilson took Chris Brown's kickoff at the goal line. Nice moves to get across the 20. And now he powers out to the 27. Nice return. Drive of the half after 69 yards rushing the entire first half. Jamal Lewis out to the 29. A gain of 2 for the freshman. On 2nd and 8. They show patience with the run, but it yields nothing that time. 3 wide receivers, no tight end for Tennessee. Manning running out of time. He's sacked by Mike Rucker. The first sack of Manning tonight. Now Chris Hogue with his worst punt of the night. But he did get a good bounce. Hogue averaged 61 yards.
On the receiving team during the kick. Close scrimmage kick enforcement. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Nebraska on offense for the second time in the second half. They stay on the ground. It's Ahman Green with running room again. Out to the 35. Terry, obviously just before the break, you didn't have a chance to finish your thought about the Nebraska offense. Green up the middle, and he ran into Raynoch Thompson.
Against the Nebraska offense. If their own offense hadn't turned it over, I'm not sure Nebraska would have scored in the first half.
Frost pitched it at the last second. Look out! Ahman Green with one man to beat. And he could not beat him.
Pitch. Sometimes he never even looks. This time he does. He lays it off perfectly. Makovicka leading the way, and Ahman Green, the speedster, gets a crack in the defense and then just turns it downfield.
He now has 113 yards rushing. Makovicka weaving his way to the right. A gain to the 17. 4-yard pickup. Ron Green
Penetrating quite as much as they were able to in the first half.
Green up the middle. A lot of tired-looking arm tackles from the defensive front now for Tennessee. Corey Noel had to come up from the secondary. The referee says it is a Frost keeps. Frost touchdown! During the regular season, that's the school. Miami, Nebraska has taken control, leading by 25. Still 5 minutes left in the third quarter. 1st and 10. Tennessee needs to do something, and they need to do it quickly. From the 32. 2nd and 6. A lob looking for Nash. He has it. And he's across midfield. Erwin Sweeney made the tackle. They had one-on-one coverage. Jamal Lewis off right tackle. Found the hole. He's down at the 41-yard line. Quality gain of 7 on first down for Lewis. 3.5 minutes remaining. Third quarter. Manning throws. Caught again by Nash. No, incomplete now, say the officials. And Nash was wide open, with the throw a bit errant. Oh, Nash slipped, and that might have hurt his chances of catching it. Manning throws short of Jermaine Copeland. Now it's 4th down and 4. Big play here for Tennessee as they cling to hopes of a comeback. 4th and 4. Blitz caught. First down. Clock down to 3 minutes and change remaining in the third quarter. Lewis close to another first down. He had one man to beat, and he was gone. Instead, it's a gain of 9. 7 yards rushing tonight on 13 carries. He gets the handoff again. Burst through the hole. Ran into his own man, and that might have prevented a touchdown. Instead, he's down at the 5-yard line. Hold him down long enough for Johnson to make the stop. 1st and goal at the 5. Manning looking in the end zone. Running out of time. Throws. Touchdown! Peerless Price with the reception for the Tennessee score. Out of the shotgun, the try for 2. He throws incomplete. So it's 28-9. Good kickoff by Jeff Hall with the wind. The veteran group, they'll lose 6 of their top 7 offensive linemen to graduation. So that'll be the first major challenge for Frank.
Aaron Taylor, 67, the left guard, along with Fred Pollock, 73. They run again to the left.
And Green is close to another first down. Certainly one of the best teams in the nation. And Nebraska is starting to take firm control. Something Michigan never did yesterday. Touchdown, Amon Green.
Crease to open up for Amon Green.
Chris Brown.
Oh, it's amazing what's happened to contracts in college football.
Said that as if he might ponder going back.
No.
Darden out to the 30-yard line.
Philip Fulmer is right over the hump with him.
Just a couple of wins against the Gators. He would be a fully beloved figure in the state of Tennessee. Lewis tackled from behind by Jason Peter. Terrific play by Peter when it looked like Lewis was great. Peyton Manning, each in his final game at his respective university. Manning throws very short out to the 34-yard line, perhaps the 35, a gain of 2.
Tennessee's not tackling as well this half as they did in the first half.
Nebraska had 227 yards rushing in the third quarter. Jamal Lewis chopped down short of a first down. Bobby Newcomb waiting for the punt from Chris Hogue. Well, they're offside and then some. Grant Wistrom very anxious, coming around right in.
Ball start.
Yes, he was.
On the offense. 5 yards. 4 down.
For the punt from Chris Hogue. Another nose-up spiral of beauty again. Chevin Wiggins from the 20, straight up the middle and down to the 28-yard line. Then the Nebraska section and in the Tennessee seating areas as well. You make that observation because a lot of the Volunteer fans have left. Jay Sims in at I-back. The biggest reason Tom Osborne wanted to step aside now was his family. He admits that his wife Nancy more or less raised their children by herself as he was putting in 17-hour days coaching football. Sheldon Jackson. Well, Mike is hoping he can turn his dad into a golfer. Tom Osborne prefers fishing in his rare free moments. Frost, the keeper, now to the 45. Much of the criticism from the Nebraska fans directed at Frost. He was booed, and he bristled at that, spoke out against it. Now he has been embraced, but you get the sense talking to him, he still remembers the boos too. As the backup to Steve Stenstrom for 2 years at Stanford, 2 losing seasons. He wanted to go back where he knew he would play on a winning team and be a key member. Frost close to another first down at the Tennessee 37-yard line. What's interesting about Frost's decision to go to Stanford too is that he has a lengthy family history at the University of Nebraska. Both parents were athletes at the state university. His dad Larry was a football player. His mother Carol, a track athlete. Mother Carol won the discus in the Pan Am Games in '67. When most of the mothers of the Nebraska players went to the Seaquarium here in Miami, Mrs. Frost said she'd rather stay in the hotel and watch the NFL playoff games, and that's what she did.
He's got it all, except he's not a great thrower.
Has an awkward motion, which undoubtedly Bill Walsh would like to have worked with had Scott stayed there.
He reminds me of Nolan Cromwell, the great option quarterback from Kansas who had a wonderful pro career. That's who he looks like.
On 4th and 1, Frost. The pitch to Green, and it's a loose ball. Leonard Little ran by it. Now it's picked up, and you cannot advance. Nebraska takes over. 9:14 remaining. Manning's pass incomplete.
It's been a great experience for them. It's been a great experience for the Manning family. We've had a wonderful time.
Take a short break for the play.
And as a light rain begins to fall, Manning's pass to Lewis. And Jamal thrown for a loss back to Ed.
Impact on some others, and you know, I'm glad it worked out for him. I'm glad he was able to stay healthy this year, and they won a championship. And I'm glad he stayed. He is too. We're proud of him.
Archie, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the ball game.
He represents everything you like about college football. Everything. I can't imagine having a more complete player and person than this guy is.
You can't carry yourself as a college athlete with any more class or dignity, grace than Peyton Manning has. 39-yard punt. Newcomb takes the pitch. He can fly. He's still flying. Flag down to the secondary. Newcomb inside the 25 and down to the 16. An important flag, perhaps, for Nebraska and for Michigan, because you wonder, Terry, if people look at comparatives, so every point could be crucial.
No question about it. That turnover,
Huskers at their own 38. Frost, the pitch to Green, running room in the corner. He's into Tennessee territory, down at the 47-yard line.
Set a 5-year record for the best record in the history of college football with it.
Makovica dancing through traffic. Look at Frost hustling downfield to throw a block. Torrey Noel made the game. Jay Sims back in at I-back. Here he goes. Almost went the distance. Deion Grant, the true freshman, Burrell Buckhalter is in it. I-back now. And Frost might be changing the play. 5 on the play clock. There's Buckhalter. Fresh legs driving down inside the 15-yard line.
Sean, the offense is overpowering. It might be easier to stop the Big Red Army of China than the Big Red Army of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Green needs a yard to tie the record. That looks like a gain of 2. Jonathan Brown made the stop. That is a 2. Makovica inside the 10, fumble, and it's still free. And you wonder, not to overly dramatize the point, if that could be a national championship saving recovery for the Cornhuskers.
As powerful as this one, they just don't. Michigan certainly has a top-ranked defense, the best defense in the country.
Brooks scores another touchdown. His 3rd of the night.
About 8 times tonight. That's what Scott.
Good kick with the wind. Wilson.
Fans left here, John.
Handoff up the middle. Travis Stevens, a true freshman, taking the handoff.
Ending his career like this, he's such a fierce competitor.
Martin over the middle to Sean Bryson.
All the right reasons. Things didn't work out exactly, probably, as he would have wished, but that's life, and you learn something there, too. That's all part of the experience, and he talked about the experience.
Our crew, I don't think, was overly generous in awarding Nebraska a victory in this game. Nice throw by Martin, and Andy McCullough's running free in the secondary. Beginning of the year, that looks tough, but Notre Dame had a disappointing year. Colorado had a very disappointing year. Baylor was not a very good team. Where Nebraska out of the league went out and played a very good Washington team in Seattle, as you know, one of the toughest places in the nation to play, and won easily.
On to MVP in the Rose Bowl, Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner. If they don't get a share of the national championship, there's something wrong. They did everything they were asked to do. But at the same time, Scott Frost and Joel Makovica and those guys, they did everything they were asked to do.
Yes, they did. Martin lost his helmet, and he is sacked, and there is a flag thrown in the secondary. It's the seconds to say Nebraska has an edge on offense.
Well, that might be, but Sean, I have my own personal beliefs, and I really think that the national championship should be shared by these two teams. That's just what I believe. I remember in '90, Colorado, Georgia Tech, they shared it.
I agree with you, by the way.
91. The national championship is such a special thing to players and coaches. It means so much.
T. Martin can really run. He's inside the 5. With 1:02 remaining, an 11-yard gain. 1st and goal from the 3. T. Martin into the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Andy McCullough. Now the try for 2. Martin was 4 for 4 on that drive. He swings it out, and there's the 2-point conversion for Travis Stevens, the true freshman from Clarksville, Tennessee. The one thing that certainly has not changed is winning. They've had 36 straight winning seasons.
Well, I look at Tom Osborne, 20.
1st down.
And the legacy of Tom Osborne.
Here we go.
There, ooh. Another bath added to that legacy. And a hug from Jason Peter. And you can say what you want about the decisions he's made relative to some players over the years, but by and large, the vast majority of Nebraska players have been outstanding in the classroom, outstanding in the community. They have had some problems off the field. Some have questioned Osborne's decisions in that realm, but you can't deny that he does care unbelievably about his players, and they return that affection. Clearly one of the great coaches of all time. And he's 20 seconds away from the career-ending victory. Only fitting that it would end with a victory and perhaps a national championship for Tom Osborne. He leaves us with 255 wins. And not a happy ending for Peyton Manning as he heads toward the NFL. Tom Osborne heads for a fishing pole. Nebraska a winner. 42-17 the final.